People are going to start coming in, so as they come in, can you hand them one? Maybe you want to sit like over there, so then that way it's easier.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Yes, down goes forward, up goes
back.
yes.
Is this correct?
Yeah, okay, that's the only way we have the QR code.
Okay, wonderful. Just wanted to confirm.
Yes, no, you're good, you're good.
Hi, team. How are you?
Should we close the doors?
Yes. All right, welcome everyone to the fourth session of Pactful's Change Making Workshop, presented by the Jacobs Institute for Innovation in Education. I will let them take it away.
Hi, everyone. If this is your first time seeing us and you're a little bit lost, it's okay. This is our fourth workshop. So we've done 3 before this one, and they all build up on one another. If this is also the first time you're seeing us, you probably don't have the digital notebook. So we put up the QR code for you so you can scan it, grab a copy of it, and that way you can look at it later at your own time and convenience. It does have a lot of resources, links, hyperlinks ready to go. So I strongly suggest you just grab a copy. You will need a Google account. It is a Google document, but you should just be able to make a copy. If it tells you like you need permission, just ask for permission and one of us will give it to you. Okay. So I just want to leave that for a few seconds up there because I see people coming in trying to grab it. And if you need it toward the end of the session, let us know and we'll put it back up again. A little bit about us. We are Pactful over at the Jacobs Institute for Innovation and Education at the University of San Diego. So we empower young people, particularly teens, to create solutions for local and global problems that they identify. We take them through the design thinking process, which we will tell you a little bit more about, and we help them develop their own projects and innovations. So our goal is to get you from idea to prototype and pitch to community members, to sponsors, to get funding, whatever it is that you're looking for, that is kind of our role, and we have the full curriculum developed for that. Over the last few days, we have gone through the understand phase where one conducts interviews, does research, then the ideation phase where you frame the problem and brainstorm ideas for how to address those needs. Yesterday, we worked on prototyping, so bringing those ideas to life and learning how to evaluate and test your ideas. And finally, today, we are doing the pitch. So we're going to walk you through what is some ideas and some processes that you need as you're creating your story to get ready to present it to somebody. And your story should be under 7 minutes. So you want to make sure you have data presented, you have empathy created, you have a storyline, you have a name, you have a logo, you have all these things ready to go. And everything has to be presented in under, actually they say 5 minutes. We try to push 6 minutes as a total, but we just walk you through all that process. Hopefully you got a chance to scan this. If you didn't, like I said, we'll put it back up if you ask for it. I'm going to move all the way to. So this is just some of the stuff that we went through previously.
Hi everyone, brief request, if you have a bag on a chair next to you and that no one is sitting in that chair, please remove the bag so we can have seats for everyone who's interested. Thank you.
This is one of the videos that I know if you've seen us in the other sessions, you might have not gotten a chance to see it, and I did want to show it. These are some of our teams. We work globally. We work currently with about 38 countries.
38 countries.
38 countries nationwide. They participate in this one specifically. They participated in a challenge, an innovation challenge, and they submitted their pitches. We have winners from all over the world, and we walk them through their entire ideas. Their prototypes and their projects range from actually building a no needle component for diabetes testing to a social program where they're working with a mobile unit to develop empathy and create what is it called, the counseling centers in different areas. So their ideas range completely, and I want to make sure that you're aware of that design thinking doesn't mean you just build something 3D, but it really means you're designing your idea from scratch.
It could be a product, a service, or a policy. Design. The wonderful thing about design thinking is that it can be applicable through all sorts of things. You can use it to write a song. You can use it to paint something, but you can also use it to build a robotic arm, as some of our students have in the past.
So we provide all this and a lot more at no cost to you guys because we have amazing sponsors. We're always looking for sponsorship and donations. So our entire curriculum is online, free access for everybody. You just need a Google account. That's the only limitation. And we are working on Pactful 2.0, as we call it, where you won't even need access to the internet. You just need it that one time to download the program, and then you'll have it ready to go. So if that infrastructure is the limit for you, we're going to be working on that as well. The other thing that I did want to mention is we offer different programs, not just this one. So we were talking about the Jacobs Teen Innovation Challenge as one of them as well. So if you know teens, you know an organization that works with teens or a school that works with teens, 13 through 18, they can join this challenge free of charge. We just need the teacher to be their sponsor, so that way we can communicate with the adults. We're also offering AI trainings for educators and leaders out there. Again, all this is at no cost to you. They're all virtual. We always work globally. So if that's something that you're interested in, we're offering that as well. And if you downloaded the digital workbook, under the resources, you have all the links so you can register at your own convenience. Our first AI session is on October the 1st, just an FYI on that. Okay. So just wanted to give you a few ideas of what else we do there. We're also yes people. So if you have an idea that you want us to work with you and your community, let us know about it and we'll probably make it happen. So we're pretty good about doing things like that for different communities. All right. This one, okay. I'm gonna go really quick over what we did yesterday. So yesterday we worked on designing solutions for our tea activity. Well, in this case, it was your dream tea, your favorite tea. You were presenting it to other people. You designed the recipe. You built the tea, and then you tested it with other people. Some of you got feedback back, and then you're supposed to go back and redesign it. We ran a little bit out of time, but that was a process.
We are explaining design thinking and that whole process grounded in tea making. So that is a easy way to get people into design thinking, just like a small little workshop to get your hands wet or all dirty and working on tea. So if you hear us talking about a tea making workshop, it's because that's how we're teaching design thinking. But these skills are transferable to any sort of problem and solution that you are addressing in your local or global community.
So for today, the last thing we're going to talk about is the pitch. So as we mentioned before, we did the understand where we looked at research, conducted interviews, and you have all that breakdown and process in your guide as well. We then looked at ideate, how you come up with a plethora of ideas and bring it down to that one. So we did that and we did the prototype yesterday. So today it's all about the pitch. How do you present all this to somebody that either doesn't understand your community, doesn't know your community, or better yet, knows your community, but doesn't know how to help? and you have this amazing idea that you want to present. So to do that, I'm going to play a little video that explains the pitch component, and then I'm going to talk a little bit more about it, okay?
Persuades them to believe in your team and your idea. To create a pitch, your team will need to craft the story of how and why you came up with your solution. You'll want to draw people in and create an emotional connection so they understand the impact your solution will make on others and the world. You'll also want to capture their minds by explaining why your solution is valuable and convince them that your solution has the potential to change the world. You'll create an appealing pitch deck and use media to support your story. Once you have completed your deck, you'll share your story in a pitch presentation. You've built something that makes the world better. Be proud of your innovation.
So there are 2 steps when it comes to the pitch. Oh, okay. There's 2 steps when it comes to the pitch. The first one is you're crafting the idea. It's almost like you're creating your script. How you're going to say something, what exactly you're going to say. You also need to collect your data at that point. You need to have a name for your product. You need to have a logo for your product. You need to have all these components ready in place. So you're putting all those together to see how it fits.
Yeah. So both the product and the impact that you are hoping and making.
And by impact, we mean how is it really going to help the community? Who are the people? So if you're pointing, like you want to bring at this point videos, tracking logs,
Testimonials.
interviews, things in that nature of the people that you worked with and you talked to and you questioned and interviewed, you want to bring that up when you're crafting your story. Okay. You're very strategic about it. So you're adding components that you know are going to make an impact and are going to make a difference and are going to speak to the volume of the presenter who's listening. So in our case for right now, I want to do a little experiment to explain to you the importance of building that connection. We went ahead and gave you a tea bag. We created those tea bags for you. We have different ingredients in those tea bags. We're not giving you water so you can try it out. The only thing that you are going to know about those tea bags is the smell of it. And Ashley will tell you the ingredients of them, and you don't even know which one you have. And I want you to create a name for that tea so you can sell it. A very catchy name for the tea that we gave you. And if you don't have a tea, let us know because we'll give you one.
Raise your hand if you don't have a tea.
Yeah, just raise your hand if you need one.
All right, so there are 4 different kinds of tea around, and you're gonna have to smell it yourself and determine which one it is. We want this to be blind so that you don't know which tea you have, and you have to strategically come up with that content that we were talking to you about. So we have 1 tea, which is a black tea base that has ginger, vanilla, and red peppercorn. So that's 1 tea. The second tea is a rooibos tea that has hibiscus and peppermint. The third is a green tea that has rose and peppermint and a touch of lemongrass. And then finally, a lavender tea that has vanilla and lemongrass as well. So take a second to smell your tea and really note how it makes you feel and what you think of it.
If you're daring enough to open it a little bit and look at the ingredients, you can. I'm not going to say no to that.
It might be a meat with a rose.
Okay. Yeah. So what would you name it? What would you call it if you had to sell me that tea right now? What name would you give it?
A salting tea.
Ooh.
Tea, okay. It evokes an emotion, it evokes a response, it makes you aspire to something. I like it. Anyone else wanna pitch their tea name? Yeah.
This definitely have hints of ginger.
Okay.
Something else like that, come to ginger. But when I smell it, it makes me feel like warming.
Okay.
So my tea will be named Warm Reflections.
Ooh.
Because at the end of the day, when you come home from work, you're gonna relax, just wind down and reflect on the day, right? Warm Reflections.
Okay, we got warm reflections over here. Love that.
I love it, love it. Go ahead, we'll go with him afterwards, so go ahead.
Mine is lavender. So I don't know, like lavender tea, like a pud, lavender.
So we have here like emotion, sensation, and then humor. Humor is always a wonderful way to build connections with people.
With a little bit of hint of what the ingredient is. So that's kind of nice that you wrap those two things in. Gentleman behind you?
Mine is like glow.
Hello.
Okay.
So, want to give it a name?
Yes.
Yeah.
Closey tea.
Love it. Clovey tea.
I will second that one because clove is such a strong smell for me that once I smell it, I'm like, it's just clove. It's just clove tea. It doesn't matter what else is in there. I love it.
Yeah, the black tea does have clove in it. I forgot to mention that. But that's amazing. It's that one's descriptive. It's you're naming it after what is there. Anyone else?
So mine, it has like a peppermint kind of feels like you know the extra peppermint buns.
Yes,
So
yeah.
like, I would kind of like maybe like peppermint burst or something because
Okay.
like as I smell it, I can actually kind of taste the peppermint. So like you know something about peppermint burst, like you know making tea. I don't know.
Right.
I love it. I love how you tried to make a connection with something you knew because you're not familiar with it. So you connected it to a personal experience. That's awesome.
Right. And burst is amazing because it's both, it has movement and also it evokes an image immediately. Like I imagine like one of those striped red candies like exploding, which would be an excellent way to go for like a pitch or like a video.
We had another volunteer on this side. Go ahead.
Autumn.
Ooh. Associate it with the season. I like it. So it's always about the experience. Did you guys notice as you were making those names, because you don't know what that tea tastes like, you have never tried it before, you didn't make it, you were trying to associate things that you knew, things that you felt, and made that name. That goes for your products. When you create something, you are connecting it to something very personal. You're connecting that emotion, and it has to come out in the name. And you want people to feel that emotion. Like, I will feel autumn. I will feel that mint burst. Like, I will feel it without even trying that tea. Okay? And it's the same thing with your products. So when you're working with your teams, we have different activities for you. We talk in this activity, we kind of talk about combining a word cloud, which is a free software online that you just put different terms in it. So like in this case, you will bring in warmness, autumn, mint. And if you're working with a team, you're going to see that some of you are going to have the same words over and over and over again. So when that happens, you know as a team that those are probably some of the words that you want in the name of your project.
A really important part of this is also making sure it's your first instinct. If you've been working on a product or a solution or a service for a really long time, you may be divorced from like the initial feeling of whatever that thing is. So you want to make sure that when you're pitching, you are like immediately connecting with someone and like going off of what someone's first impression might be.
Now, if you don't want to use an online software or a program because you don't have internet access or you just don't like using them, we don't like using a lot of that stuff either. So we have a big whiteboard in our office and we just write. Whatever ideas come to mind, we just write them. You can do them in little post-it notes. And we highly recommend that you use one post-it note per idea. So that way you see so many different ideas and you start removing what you like and you start throwing away what you don't like or what doesn't speak to the whole team.
Mm-hmm. And we recommend also putting dots or like check marks for things that, so let's say someone put warming reflection. If you feel like that is a really good idea, you put a dot next to it, you put a check mark next to it. And the more check marks and dots that an idea incurs, the more powerful it is.
The other thing that I did want to mention, language also has a big deal, right? If you're trying to sell to a Western audience, for example, you want something that they can easily pronounce. But if you're selling something to your local community, you want it to be for your local community. So you want to have your language in it, right? You might play with a mixture of languages just to make it fun and entertaining. That's another thing that you can do. But always think of who is this product supposed to serve? Who is it supposed to be helping? So don't go to an extreme because then the audience that you were trying to create this product for are not going to be interested in it. So just things to keep in mind. The last one that we wanted to talk about is if you decide to use AI to help you create your name. So a few things. If you're using an open source AI, that means it's free of charge. You just went in and you just want to play with it. Know that that is a learning environment. That means whatever you type, it's going to keep. It's their property. So if later on you decide, oh, this is a perfect name, you probably are not going to be able to use it anymore.
Someone else is going to have access to that same name. So always keep that in mind, that if you're giving your ideas to AI, it's probably giving it to someone else.
So if you are paying for the service of AI, you still need to go check that you turn off the learning language model in the settings section. So make sure you do those things if you're planning on using AI as a way of helping you name your product. You don't want your final name of your product to be on those modules, okay? Also, even though you might have a secure one, you've already made sure that it's not a learning language in the AI, you pay for it, you still want to follow the laws of the country that you are building this product in. So do we need a patent in it? Do we need a signature or anything like that? So you want to search all those things before you submit that pitch to that final people. So that way you have all the paperwork and everything ready to go.
Another tip is always to look for other products that might share the same name. So you want to make sure that you come up with something unique so that Google's search engine optimization hits your product first and not a series of other products with the same name that other people will want to click on instead of yours.
And if this is a lot of information, because I know we give a lot of information, know that the digital workbook that we gave you has all those steps for you, has all these links for you, and our curriculum has additional activities. So if you don't like what you're hearing here because it doesn't work for you, we have different ways of helping you get those products up and going. Okay, we did this part. So to share your story, I'm going to spend a few minutes, and if you have access to the digital workbook, I am going to ask you to pull it out right now just for a few minutes because I do want you to look at this. When you're delivering your story, you're doing a presentation. It might be like this, you're presenting live. It might be a video recording that you will be doing, and then you just send it and submit it. So there's different options of how to do this. But one thing is very clear when you're doing a presentation. Number one, it has to be short, 5 to 7 minutes. It shouldn't be long. It should be the shortest thing possible. It should have your product somewhere in there, whether it is a picture, a video, somebody else interacting with it. Like it should be visible for whoever is seeing this or seeing your presentation that the item is there. Okay. Have a script. Don't come out here and just like try to talk it off because you think you know it. Have something ready. Have your talking points. Have your bullet points ready to go. Especially your data. You want to make sure that data is presented in your presentation and in your pitch.
And you want numbers. You don't want to just say like, oh, people love this. No, you want to give specific data that shows that people love this.
And how they liked it. So like, for example, I will say Ashley from San Diego University told us that she used the design thinking process in several presentations, and she had a turnaround of 90% of the people, using it and actually creating a product at the end. So you want to be very specific on that. Eye contact, of course, you're always looking at the audience. And the last one, and this is why I want you to open the digital notebook, is a rubric. Now, a rubric will look different depending on who you're pitching it to, right? So if you are pitching it to a grant or a proposal, they will have a very specific rubric of what they want you to have in your presentation. Get that, download it, read it, and highlight what you need to make sure it's in the presentation. Because if they tell you, oh, we only want to see data, I don't want any questionnaires, I just want to see the numbers, and then you entered questionnaires into your presentation, well, your product is going to be rejected based on the presentation alone. We gave you in the digital workbook, we gave you the rubric that we use as an example of how a rubric kind of looks like, how you can make it from minimum to the best presentation ever. So I wanted to make sure that you have access to that. It is there in the workbook. It's called a rubric. But again, depending on who you're pitching it to, your rubric will look different.
And if you don't end up following the specifications of the workbook of the grant you're working on, you're going to be immediately disqualified. So you want to make sure that you're going through point by point and hitting all of those markers, or else someone who is more competitive will probably win out.
All right, I'm going to put this one here. Okay. Technically now it's time for you guys to work on your own pitches of your own products, but I know some of you don't have an idea, some of you do. But I'm going to leave it open. If you have any questions that you want to ask us, if you want me to put the digital notebook back, I can do that so you can download it. If you have questions, need support, or anything in that nature, let us know. I did want to mention a few final thoughts. So one of the things that you will probably want to look at is your product or your service actually working? Is it making a difference in your community? So when you're doing that, you're going to revisit what we call the HMWs, the how might we questions that we talked about during the understand phase. And in this case, for example, I gave you the example of how might we design a tool for flood victims to have clear drinking water in order to prevent illness from sanitary. So when I'm tracking my tool, I'm seeing, is it addressing the need? So am I getting clean water? And I need to track that for a couple of weeks or a couple of months or sometimes for a whole year to make sure that it is working, right? Interview the flood victims again after your product has been out, after they have used it. Okay, so I interviewed back in September. Now it's February. How is it working for you? Is it meeting your needs? That's additional data that you're collecting. And then finally, you're looking at your data of how it changed from the beginning to the end, right? So when we started, we had very dirty water. We had a lot of illnesses. Now we have clean water, and the illnesses are maybe going down, but not as much as we like. So is there something that we need to add? Is there something that we need to fix? We build it again, redesign it, and test it again. This is super important. The tracking system is amazingly important, and always bring it back to that original question that you posted.
When you're looking at a grant, if they are asking for impact, if they're asking for like reporting measures, these are the things that you're going back to. This is what's going to tell you what kind of data is going to help you prove that you have a product of impact. So if you were looking for a tool to help address flood victims' needs, what kind of data could you potentially gather? Anyone?
Please revise your question.
So if you're trying to collect data to prove that your tool works to address illness from unsanitary drinking water for flood victims, what kind of data would you collect?
Primary data.
Primary data?
Such as what? Give us one example.
Okay. You can look up for the existing data that is already exists. And for some types of research that question, interviews is also important. First-hand data.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You can track like all the diseases and then see the opportunity throughout the 3 month for you as like has changed in the disease.
Exactly. So you're using that base data, like he was saying, and then tracking it based on what information you were originally collecting with.
Yeah, you could do this with public information, or you could do this if you have access to a lab, you could test it yourself. I will also make sure that you're working with folks that are statisticians, because there could be a circumstance that there's like a third variable that actually is lowering the illness, and it's not necessarily your product. So you want to make sure that you conduct a controlled study.
We also can do survey.
Especially if you did pre-survey and post-surveys, those are really great comparisons. Yes, definitely.
Yeah, I would also encourage you, if you're going to do surveys, that cannot be your only data, because those are self-reported. Maybe someone says, I didn't have like this disease, or this is, you can attribute it to anything really. Like maybe you need to have the lab actually working and evaluating those people to ensure that you know that what they're reporting is true.
Yes. You always would love, when it comes to a new product, you want to have a combination of quantitative and qualitative data, because the quantitative gives you those numbers that pop for a lot of organizations, right? But the qualitative is what makes it human, and it's what makes that connection for everybody. So definitely you want to have a mixture of those, and definitely look at the proposal to see what they want you to present, right? Which data they want you to focus on. If they don't tell you which one, then combine both of them all the time.
If you're maybe like sending out a video, maybe you want to ground it in those emotional components. But if you are doing a grid, for instance, they may not care very much about that. You're going to want to show them the hard data.
Definitely. If you were, in your journal, we also added different resources that you can use to track your data. So I gave you all those. They're linked already, so you can just click and we'll open up for you. We love using Notion as one of our tools to track our progress, information, our different workshops and feedbacks and things like that. So we use that, but we gave you a bunch of different ones, and all of them are free of charge. So we like free stuff. If you were with us the entire time, and if you downloaded the journal, I did want to add that you also gained project manager experience with us, because in order for you to do a project, especially with a team, there's all this tracking that has to happen, so you can have it from beginning to end. In your journal, we included something that we call the manager and collaboration boxes, where you're actually adding your teammates' names, what they're doing, and the due date for everything. So that way you can always go back and reference it. So it's already built in for that for you, if you don't want to use a different tracking system. But I did want to mention that including with that, if you've participated with us for the last 4 days, you've worked with groups, especially people that you don't know, so that was a good experience there. You had clear goals and expectations set for you. You had a hard timeline that you had to finish all those things. Those are all project manager skills that you added to your plethora just by joining us. So, want to mention that. We firmly believe that together we build a better world, so we want to make sure that you are supported. You all have access to our Pactful platform. That's the curriculum online. All you have to do is go to pactful.org and create your account. You will need a Google email, but you can use it with your team as well, so you have access to it. If you need it in Spanish, it is available in Spanish. We only have it in English and Spanish so far, but we'll work on that, I promise you. We're very big about that. In addition with that, we want to offer you, the International Youth Conference team, we want to offer you guys our monthly huddles. We do this with educators and teachers where we meet every month to see how they're doing, their progress, if they need help or support, if they need us to critique their product or critique the process that they're doing it. We're doing that just for you guys. So if that's something you're interested in doing, join our, send us an email. We have our emails in our, in the digital workbooks. Tell us, I want to join the huddles, and we'll send you the Zoom links of when they're taking place. We do it at different times. We work with a global audience, so we know that our times are different, our times, and so we do work in different times. And you can join us, your team can join us. We'll have a conversation with you. We want to make sure that you are successful in this. Okay? And again, all of this is at no cost to you guys. Okay, it's all free, I promise you.
Yeah, throughout the week, we've heard from a lot of you having really interesting products, services, things that you want to offer to your community. The theme of this conference is about youth solutions. So we want to support that as much as possible. If you have a project that you are currently working on and you could use some advice or tools or extra resources, while we don't have monetary funding, unfortunately, we can offer you like ways to make your product better and how to actually provide you with steps to eventually obtain that funding you need.
But other than that, thank you so much for being a change maker. We truly appreciate the work that you guys are doing in your communities and in the world and in the world. We truly appreciate that. So thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
Thank you both. We greatly appreciate your involvement and your instruction on how to make change and design thinking. We've all learned a lot. I can attest to that, and we appreciate you being here. Everyone else, our next panel and our final panel will begin at 3 p.m. on sustainability. So please be here for that. You have until 3 to be back here. Thank you so much.
We have more stickers here if anybody wants them. Don't want to take them back.
I'm not quite sure if there's anything left, but it was in there.